Hello, Cinnamon Challenge. We're trying this.
We simply use the computer to mark up the size of the account.
Thank you, El Jefanero. I've had a shit day and you're turning it around. I'm glad to hear it, my friend. We're gonna try this. We're gonna do a subdued late night stream. Let's see how it goes. I've installed the final cut of Disco Elysium, the fully voiced version. And I'm ready to give this shit a try. My playthrough of this last time was quite enjoyable though. And I used the sensitive archetype. Disco Elysium. That's right. More and more people were calling it that. So on this playthrough, I was thinking I was going to go with a thinker. Extremely intelligent. Very bad with people. Knows interesting facts. Comes up with original ideas. Just looking at the stats, quite different from my sensitive playthrough, so I'll probably get a whole bunch of different options. Oh, Left Turn Canada is good? I'm glad to hear it. That's cool. So I'm thinking about going with Thinker. I don't think I'm ready to do a physical playthrough where I just punch my way through everything. What's the physical one like, Alpha Helifanero? Is it cool? I think I'm going to go with Thinker. A lot of punching, okay. Is it worth it to create your own to try and make a real-life accurate Rob Rousseau character? I don't really think so, because I think in this you're really... The character
there is nothing
in this game is...
only warm primordial blackness.
Kind of unique.
Your conscious ferments in it. No larger than a single grain of malt. You don't have to do anything anymore.
Is there a rain energy stat? There should be. There's a lot of different stuff you can, like, ingest.
Ever. Never, ever. Never, ever, ever, baby. An inordinate amount of time passes. It is utterly void of struggle. No ex-wives are contained within it. You got it, sweet brother. Nothing upon nothing upon nothing. Coming right up, sir. Smooth passage. Alright. Nothing town to fuck all
It's
bar.
going to continue non-existing here. Nighttime Rob, Red Scary. We're doing Disco Elysium.
Do you want me to upgrade that to a one-way trip, sir? The song of death is sweet and endless. But what is this? Somewhere in the sore, bloated man meet around you. A sensation. Like a fly to the ointment, your conscience sticks to it. The limbed and headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is firing up again.
I was trying to just continue
walk
non-existing.
the desert, hurting, longing, dancing to disco music.
The stench of liquor rises from your mouth, and with it, an ungodly headache. A fiery streak penetrates your skull, trying to force your eyes open. It's a sound, a clarion call from hell.
Somehow, you know what it is. A Caprice Canadian motor carriage.
Classic. Which of the Chapo? I'm okay. So, all the Chapo guys are in the original one, but this is the final cut. And apparently, I didn't know this, but the last time on the last stream, this came up, and apparently they all got replaced in the final cut because it's fully voiced. So I guess they got like actual voice actors to do it. So my strategy in my first playthrough of this game was, so you wake up here, you've got amnesia, you don't know what's going on, and my whole strategy the last time was just to like pretend that I knew what was going on and just to pretend that the whole thing about me losing my memory wasn't happening. So I was just like never mentioning any of that stuff, and when someone would try to like ask me about the case, like things that I had no idea, I would just like answer authoritatively like I knew what I was talking about. And just I was completely always just bullshitting people, trying to like pretend that this whole like amnesia thing just wasn't happening, even though it was like extremely obvious. So I don't know, we'll see what's going to happen this time. I also remember the entire first day of the first playthrough, I only had one shoe on, and I didn't realize until the end of that. So this time I'm definitely going to pick up both shoes. The magnum-sized bottle of Commodore Red is empty. Looks like someone tore out the tape while the song was playing. This reel-to-reel tape player is still on, rolling empty. Is that a shoe? A single shoe. Okay, it's already putting it on. Some pants?
You hear a jingle. Keys are clinking in the pocket of your flare-cut pants.
See, I don't even remember ever hearing from Perception very often.
It says whirling in rags on the aluminium keyring. There is a single key on the ring. The number 1 is etched on it. It should open the door.
Equilio.
The Whirling in Rags is a hostel cafeteria on the urban coast, frequented by dock workers.
Okay, so this is interesting. You like knows stuff that's going on.
The window stands broken in its
intuitively.
frame. Cold wind blows in. The morning light hurts your eyes. It's hazy, but you see the ocean and some war-torn buildings. The shards face outward. Whatever broke this window came from the inside. A fine web of scarring covers the back of your right hand, but none of it is recent. More likely a projectile than a held object. There are no fragments on the floor from pulling a tool back in after impact. It is too large for a bullet, yet too small for a piece of furniture. You're looking for something heavy and larger than your fist. The single
disco
green
comes
shoe
later,
you
Theo.
found fits the hole almost as well as your foot. It would have also been heavy enough if thrown with force.
Okay, so here's an interesting like comparison with my first playthrough. Like I just mentioned, I went through the whole day not realizing that I was only wearing one shoe because I wasn't able to look at the window and assess and figure out intuitively that it must have been a thrown shoe that caused the broken window. I was just like too drunk and hungover to figure it out, so he was just like, well, whatever, and he just like wandered around for the rest of the day in his socks.
Congratulations. You smashed the window with your own shoe. Now you only have one. If you're lucky, you could still find the other one on the balcony outside. The door to it should be outside your room. A cool wind gushes in.
So I guess that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to try and be Mr. Competent. Because obviously I'm much more, my brain works a lot better than my previous playthrough. Hey, Casey. My disco-ass blazer. It's the final cut. Words fail to describe how rank it smells in here. They should have sent a poet. Bottles in the bathtub. My shirt. Oh, and there's my horrific necktie on the fan.
A mirror hangs above a bent and broken sink. In a fierce discharge of masculine energy, someone has ripped half the faucet off.
What do you think of the voice acting? I mean, it's really just the first scene, so I'm not sure.
Was this not the same Elon that found
I'm definitely not used to this internal monologue,
waste
though.
to cities, virile, uncaring towards the little things? Probably not, no. Hot water sprays from the faucet's base, and steam covers the mirror. You cannot see yourself, just a vague impression of a man. Suddenly, you realize you have no memory of the face that awaits you there, underneath the soft vapor. As you slowly reach your hand towards the surface of the mirror, behold.
The expression.
You have no idea who this thing is, do you?
I thought I'd be getting a different expression.
Too late. You clearly have rigor mortis on your face. Oh wait, is that an expression? Are you trying to make an expression with that face? Why?
The face
Please
is making
stop.
itself.
It's horrible. You're scaring yourself. Oh my God. You can't stop. It's like it's not even voluntary anymore. You have worn that grin into your face and now it won't come off. What does it even mean? What is the emotion you're trying to convey?
Vaguely
There
sympathetic.
might have been 10 years ago. It's little more than a cadaverous spasm now.
Okay. Still no chance that I can stop the expression from happening. I'm going to work on that this playthrough. Very low. Very unlikely I'm going to get through that.
It belongs in the new, the third decade of the current century. Enough time had passed from the failure of the revolution that, for a fleeting moment, free market economy seemed like the ultimate, uncontested way of life for our species.
I remember
Things
that
were
moment.
good. It was smooth sailing.
In
People
the
made
90s,
gold
sounds like
and
the 90s.
champagne-tinted interiors and facades to suit the times, calling this the new style. But more importantly, disco happened.
Yeah, I'm really liking it too, Casey. Really
For
cool.
Revachol, your city, that meant only one thing. Guillaume Lamillion. If it doesn't rhyme, you're not pronouncing it right. Out of the dazzling swirl of disco music, in an open-air boîte de nuit, somewhere in Revachol West, Guillaume's blonde mane appeared on the screen. He sang some bullshit. Then he made the expression. Everyone loved it. Maybe you thought some of the stardust would rub off on you. Maybe it did. Either way, it's all gone now. Only the grimace remains. The click is used to spur on a horse. It also features heavily in Guillaume Lamillion's regional mega hit, Don't Worry, Your Pretty Little Head. Some 20-odd years.
I can't wait to see
There
my
is a
partner
vast
again. I
ocean of
miss him.
time between right now
Think it's a goodie.
and The expression, looking good on you, or anyone. Humanity has run aground in that time. It's a different world now. The expression is a relic.
Above all else, this is a wonderful story of friendship.
You have some understanding of the near history of disco. The rest is darkness. Aside from the useless fact that the motor carriage outside was a caprice canema. It doesn't have to be. You can swoon over Guillaume and his champagne-corked smile whenever you want to. Maybe some of the start.
Okay. Can't get out there. How's the volume of the game vis-a-vis my mic volume? Are you able to hear
This
me
fan
okay,
has
folks?
2 chain pull switches. One ends in a tiny fan, the other in a light bulb.
Balanced.
A truly horrific necktie as somehow you swoop up and catch the tie.
Got the
Snap.
tie.
It's released from the blade. What you have in your hand is a truly hideous necktie with 4 or 5 different patterns. The knot reminds you of a noose.
Someone, when I first started the game, my first playthrough, recommended to me, without really going into any spoilers, don't take off the horrific necktie. Don't take it off. And I didn't. And that advice really paid off in the end of the game. I was happy that I didn't. Oh, I love the song. The music is so great in this game. I'm going to get my shoe. You can turn on the light and shock yourself into having a heart attack. I ended up being pretty happy with my playthrough that I did. I didn't like completely solve everything about the case, but
There they both are. 2 identical shoes.
there we go.
Both copiously green
shoes.
and indiscriminately snakeskin, reunited on your feet, like 2 baby crocodiles. Good, they're balanced, comfy. Feels like the
Again,
only good
if
thing
you're just
about
joining me,
you
I went
right
through the
now,
whole
truth be told.
first day of the first playthrough with only wearing 1 shoe. I really love the music is so great. I want to go hang out in the Whirling in Rags just to hear the song. The outdoor music is really cool as well. But the song playing in the Whirling in Rags is just a banger. Ooh, couple of Real. Never got very far, but can't wait to finish it now that the final cut is out. I'm glad that I did a playthrough
Hello,
without it.
officer.
The young woman raises a cigarette to her lips.
I really enjoyed the first playthrough of it.
Her eyes are brown and her face is speckled with birthmarks. She can't be more than 28. A silver jumpsuit falls off her like scale armor, sparkling. This is the sparkle of too many nights out on the city.
Oh, she called me officer.
No.
Yeah, I liked it. I just got distracted. That's the thing. I was impressed with myself because like I started it and then I got distracted and moved away from it for a couple months, and I thought it might go into one of those like categories of games of the many games that I've either not played or started and never finished. So when I got back into it, I was very pleased with myself.
Because you're a police officer, sir. I am, yes. Unless you've been feeding us a set of very well-rehearsed lies all this time.
Are you a cop? Yeah. Yeah, it's this like offshoot of this citizens militia years after this kind of failed revolutionary society. And this like 20 years after this kind of like weird economic standstill. In this former revolution.
You've been here for 3 days. On official police business, no less. I couldn't say. In truth, so far, mostly drinking.
You have no doubt about the drinking. But do you strike yourself as a tight-lipped drunk? She must have heard something.
Could it be because of the drinking?
She hasn't had time to put her makeup on. This is her morning cigarette. She looks tired, her beauty waning faster than it ought to at her age. She nods.
There's a mercenary out back. He's been hanged. The body has been there for a week now. The locals probably got tired of it and called the cops. I didn't mean to overwhelm you with information. You seem a bit lost, officer. Don't be so harsh on yourself. They let almost anyone be a police officer.
So not much chance that I can work the expression on her. 3%. Red check.
Of course. Be careful, officer. They don't like the police around here.
Something stirs in you as she's about to go. Call it an instinct, a need. The need to ask questions. It's like you've said the words a million times before. She looks back at you, a light glinting off her eyes.
Yes?
It's more questions. What is it they have
The
against
dock
the police?
workers are pretty cocky.
Yeah, she is
They
nagging
think
me.
they're police enough. At least here on the coast. I can't say about the rest of the city.
Yeah, this city that you're in has just been kind of like completely forgotten. The dock workers pretty much just run it. So now that there's this mercenary that's been killed, they've sent in the RCM to go investigate it.
You're in a hostel, sir. We are in Revachol.
Yeah, I really like the inner monologue actor. It's really cool.
Revachol is the disgraced former capital of the world, divided into zones of control under foreign occupation. Half a century after a failed world revolution, she is central to our moment in time.
See, again, I didn't pick up on a lot of this stuff in my first playthrough. I was just like more incrementally, because again, I wasn't asking probing questions, because I was just pretending that I knew what was going on, and that I didn't have amnesia. I was just trying to like hoodwink people into thinking that I was like totally fine.
Forever and ever.
And ever, out of the corner of your eye, you see the hair on the back of your hand standing on end. It feels as though low-grade lightning is coursing through you. You must be hypersensitive from the hangover.
It's 51.
What
The
century?
current century? Centuries don't have numbers. They have names. And this is the current one. Civilization has existed for 8,000 years, sir. You're right. There is nothing funny about civilization. There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music. I couldn't
Any
say.
visitors?
It's impossible to hear people speaking from over here. Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestration prime among them.
Oh, that. Yeah. Whoa. The less said about oh, the better.
Oh, were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course. Like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on.
Mostly
It
just
would
gets
appear
hard.
so. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped and there was a change of pace. A slow, sad song started playing.
I
like
fucking love the
organ
part
music on
where he does
repeat.
karaoke.
That went on for quite a while. Some of the time, you were yelling along to it. Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church. Like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world.
I
It was
actually
about that.
I watched
And
on
also,
I watched on YouTube because when I did karaoke, I failed the check. So I did like the failed check version of the song. And I saw on YouTube like what happens if you pass the check. And I much preferred the failed check version of the karaoke song that he does. It had a lot of like angst to it that I appreciated. There was something about it that I found very touching.
That it doesn't matter anymore and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself is very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a winded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what you were singing on top of it.
Did you mean that in a cool way?
It was very cool.
It's impossible to say whether she's being sarcastic or really means it.
Then you started screaming and trashed the place. No, it didn't sound like there was a fight. It sounded like someone was trashing their room. A window was smashed. The tape player, probably. The song stopped. And furniture, too.
That does seem like it might have been me
A real
that did that.
destructathon. There was screaming. Then I think you passed out. There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I may have misheard, but it was sort of memorable. I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then, around 4 or 5. And
You
that
can
was
count
it.
on me. You're gonna have good old Rob to talk you through all
Glad to have
this.
been of
Hey,
assistance.
really
Name
chill
is
guy.
subversive.
Really chill guy. Welcome. I'm diving into the Disco Elysium, the Final Cut playthrough. I finished the game on the first playthrough, and I've been waiting to jump into this Final Cut. And then I thought, why don't I just go on Twitch and do it? Really crazy night where I'm on Twitch at past 11 p.m. Really like wild stuff going on over here. Yeah, here's the track. This song is so good. I sometimes just listen to this song like at my house when I'm in the kitchen, like cooking and stuff. It's really good background music. There's the karaoke mic. This guy's so funny too, the bartender. I love bugging him.
You should totally sing karaoke here, the first chance you get. Your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know your vast oceanic soul. Utterly. And it needs to be heard through a PA system. By other people. You should sing the sad small church song from that tape you found. Thought it was obvious. Serves them right. Wipe that smirk off their face with your sad, tragic, small church song. Who's laughing now? No one. You would need another copy of the tape first, though. The one upstairs is destroyed.
Here's my first mission. Electric juicer in the kitchen. Kim Kitsuguri. Decided to catch a glimpse of some union paraphernalia, strike poster, and red pennants. Doors open at 1600 for union members. Royal pinball machine. So like I was saying, this game, ultimately, there's a lot going on in this game, but ultimately it's a story of friendship between you and your partner.
A bespectacled man in an orange bomber jacket is
Tsuragi.
tapping his foot on the floor. Looks like he's waiting for someone. You. As you approach, he narrows his eyes and extends his
Is
hand
one of
in
my favorite
greeting.
characters in any video game.
On the sleeve of his bomber jacket, as well as on its back, are the same enigmatic white rectangles as on your blazer.
Hello, I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant
Precinct 57. You must be from the 41st.
You realize he's waiting for your name.
Invent a name for myself?
Concentration makes you squint your eyes. Your name should be deep gold and orange, like a forest fire looming on the horizon, but mixed with the stench of liquor rising from your breath. You're 2 steps closer to it, but there are still many to go.
So like I was saying, since I went in the last playthrough, I basically just pretended that I didn't have amnesia the whole time, especially with Kitsuragi, because I wanted him to think that I was cool, and that I knew that I wasn't like a junkie alcoholic who didn't remember anything. It was very important that I like impressed him, so I just pretended that I didn't have amnesia the whole time. But I think this time, going with this different playthrough, I'm just going to be totally open and honest with Kitsuragi right from the beginning, with my whole situation. It's going to be a different approach.
Okay then. It looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday too, actually. Have you had time to talk to the manager here?
What he means is, he has been trying to meet up with you for 2 days, but you have been otherwise occupied.
Then we should ask him for a rundown of the area. Get me up to speed. I understand the scene is out back, right? It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you mapped out the initial interviews? At the 57th, we like to prepare an initial list of persons of interest, and then just skim the surface. Prepare the field, get to know the players. You don't do that? Maybe it's not an inter-district practice.
He's very forgiving of you, even though you're very clearly like a pretty serious fuck up.
Okay, we'll have time for that after we take a look at the coroner's case. Have you removed the dead body from the tree?
No.
So, the body is still in the tree, where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. We should go there as soon as we are done talking to the owner.
He's very gracious with you, despite you just being like an immense fuck up who doesn't know what's going on. I can't remember
I can
anything.
see you drank last night and the night before, and that you are still drunk now. But I have seen officers go through worse. Much worse. If you need something for your headache, there is a general store nearby. But as I said, the dead body should be our #1 concern. I was sent here to meet a detective from Precinct 41. You have the insignia of the Citizens Militia on your sleeve and on your back. I suppose you could be impersonating him. You could have gotten the insignia from the black market or forged it. But for now, I'm going to set those possibilities aside. I'm not from the Inspectorate General.
Inspectorate General means internal affairs. What he's saying is, he's not from the Rat Squad and isn't supposed to suspect such things.
Yes, but I'm not them. I'm from criminal investigation. Yes. They're not just white rectangles. They bear a halogen watermark with the letters RCM and a pattern resembling the street grid of Revachol West. I would ask you to step into the headlights of my motor carriage, but again, it's none of my concern. I just need you to do your job. You mean you don't have a badge?
Yeah, you probably should have a badge. Yeah, see, this is the shit that I was doing the first time. Just like pretend you have it. I'm just going to be open and honest with them about the fact that I don't have my badge or gun and I don't know what's going on.
Losing your identification card is a serious matter. My vehicle has a shortwave. You can use it to report your badge missing. I would advise you to locate it as quickly as possible. But getting the body down should still take precedence. Talk to the manager. Then we go out back and take the body down. After you, officer.
This guy's really funny. This guy has so had it with your shit.
A man in his late 20s
Guard.
with a thin, unimpressive beard notices you approaching. He drops the ledger he was holding and turns to the lieutenant.
Seriously, it doesn't say a lot about the quality of police work going on at the RCM if Kim sees this guy and he's just like, yeah, okay, I guess so. Then we're doing this, I guess. He shows up to meet his new partner and he just has no clue what's going on, doesn't know his own name, and has just like been on a bender while there's a decaying corpse in the crime scene behind the bar for an entire week. And Kitsuragi is just like, all right.
Mr. Gart, right?
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41...
Still doesn't know your name. Currently in between
Fantastic.
names.
Right. Now, I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene. It also took you a while to call us and report the dead body. It was you who placed the call, yes?
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie who called you. She usually works the bar here. I'm only temporarily taking over her duties.
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
This sounds like something you can use to call this Sylvie later.
I'm interested to hear the parts that have been recast. The Chapo parts that were recast.
You said you just got here. From where? Are you a local?
What, of Martinez? No, I live in Jamrock. I only sometimes come here to keep an eye on the place. This is just one of the many, many cafeterias I manage.
But you still know your way around, yes? In case we need directions.
Can
Yes,
check? I don't
know
have a
some
can.
things
I
are,
don't have a
but
beverage.
As I said, I don't live
I
here.
should have thought about
I
that
just
before I came
used
down
to work
here.
here. And I'm not going to start working here again, if that's what you think.
I didn't imply that. Detective,
He probably means this is where you step in and ask your questions. His face expresses profound doubt in your having this. Ask him about the body's location before asking if he killed him. People give up information in the more innocuous questions, which you can later use
That
in
makes
the
sense.
more sinister ones, not vice versa.
Behind this building, there's a courtyard. They hoisted him up on a tree there. That's easy. See that door there? First you exit through that. Then to your right, you should see a big hole in the fence. A really big one. You can get to the courtyard through there. No need for the keys. The hole is big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry to fit through.
This man means the heavy cavalry of the innocents Franco-Negro, sweeping over the plains and nations of the enemies of mankind. 5th century style. Unified currency and the concept of cool came in their wake. They wore lamella and carried guns. But first and foremost, Franco-Nigerian heavy cavalry was really, really wide. That hole in the fence must be enormous.
I don't know
Who
who
killed him?
killed him. I'm not the police. That's your job.
Okay, Garth.
This is it. He said they hoisted him up on a tree. Who is this they, if he doesn't know?
Oh, people are saying it was the union dock workers, that it was a lynching. The locals, the customers, the people who eat here, a lot of dock workers eat here. Sylvie told me everyone knows the dock workers did it.
Yeah, Lodane Gart is an asshole, but also he's like, he has to deal with this guy. He's been dealing with your shit now for a couple of days. And I think he's kind of at the end of his rope. Dealing with your insane behavior.
did the debarders themselves tell her this, or is it a rumor?
I don't really know. You'll have to ask her.
Oh, I mean the hole in the fence is a big asshole. Okay.
I would suppose it's because they have nothing
guess that would
better
make sense.
to
You mean the strike?
do. Yes, the strike. The man they hanged was a security guard for the harbour company, I hear. A mercenary. The Unionistas probably thought they'd send a message.
The lieutenant turns the page in the little notebook he's been scribbling in.
It's already crazy how much more information about the case I'm getting right up front. It took me a while to figure all this shit out in my first playthrough.
She went away because none of your business.
Have they not been telling you you're a cop?
Okay, you got me. She went away because of the dead body out back. And because I asked for her number. That's why Sylvie went away. I hope you appreciate that.
I'm willing to defend anyone who has to deal with Rob's character in his current state.
Thank
It's
you.
not easy. Yeah. But Gart's gonna get cancelled.
Is it? Because I thought you were supposed to be investigating the lynching, not my employer conduct.
Everything has something to do
Good
with
for
everything.
you. Was there something else? I'd like to get back to what I was doing. No, I'm not the bartender. I'm the cafeteria manager. That
Like a bartender.
period of my life is over. Not everyone who stands behind a counter is a bartender, okay? I'm the cafeteria manager. I have 3 cafeterias I manage. 3. Get over it.
Let's go.
Not so fast. You owe me 130 real. Oh, excuse me. You owe me 130 real.
The IIR, or Inter-Isolary Real, is the global reserve currency. Whatever part of the world you're in right now, it's safe to assume he means you owe him some money.
Wow, you're a genius. Yes, that's right, money. You owe this establishment 130 real.
What
Let's
do I owe
see.
this place for?
3 nights at a tariff of 20 real comes to 60 real. Then there's the window you annihilated. The hole in the window was the first thing I saw when I came to work. So don't try to tell me you didn't. That will be 40 real in damages.
That is true.
Another thing you've annihilated is half the bar. You've run a tab of 30 real. Actually more, but we'll round it down to 30 for your hard work maintaining the stability and order of Revachol. That's 60 plus 40 plus 30 equals 130 real. And yes, real is still money.
You're under arrest.
You can't arrest me. I haven't done anything.
Put this man in his place.
You can't arrest me. I haven't done...
Did someone order a vague, farcical reading of the law? More than one pops into your head.
I'm gonna bring up this Sylvie thing again. That seems to be a sore spot for him. Refusal to aid an officer. Actually, I'm gonna do the Sylvie
Are
thing.
you trying to frighten me now? What is this? Fine. Fuck this. I'll do it myself. I'll call your station. What was it, 41? I'll ask them to pay for the room. The drinks and the window you still have to pay for. That's 70. Are we done, officers?
I won't pay for the window.
Fine, I'll take it off the bill. You want to sleep in a post-apocalyptic shithole? Go ahead, but I'm not giving you another room. The ledger does. The ledger has a memory. The
Trying to get
drinks
out of
are
paying the bill.
non-negotiable. There's no way your station will pay for them. Don't thank me. You still owe me 30 for the drinks.
That's nice. I
If you
got
don't
done.
have it by tonight, I'm not letting you back up there.
That's enough now, sir. Good day.
By the way, where is home? The address is coming up blank. But you've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. Where were you before?
That's
You
nice.
had
I
to be
got the
somewhere.
department to pay for some of my bender. It's a great start to the investigation.
In time or space? That doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money.
Hobocop.
You can try. Run some addresses in your head when you get the time. Maybe a street or an apartment will appear.
Do I want to talk to her right now? She's the wife of the
The
cryptozoologist.
theme on that pinball machine
Cryptozoologist.
is a standard royalist theme, used on everything from pinball cabinets to full-flavor cigarettes. Clinging to a picture book version of the past century, waiting for the king to come back and cast out all the profiteers and homosexuals. Basically, imagine a yellow plastic crown with a liquor brand emblazoned on it. The contemporary period stands still. The fated carousel of progress that doomed the royalists is itself winding down. Our time is decelerating into what no one knows.
And I guess, too, there's a whole separate
Hello,
location and a
sweetie.
whole different characters in this Final Cut playthrough as well.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer. And have you found anyone to be sweet to? I'm sorry if I
wanna
was
talk
being
about it.
overly familiar. I know we've only just met. You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Yeah, she kind of has a southern accent. One disappointing thing about starting this new playthrough, though, is that, back to my original clothes, I had with all the different, like, articles of clothing you get going through the game the first time, I was rocking some pretty incredible fits by the time the game was over. I really enjoyed all my different fits that I had going. Starting from scratch is a little bit painful. It would be cool to be able to do a New Game Plus. Yeah, exactly. New Game Plus would be cool in this game. Yeah, now you to find them all, but it takes time, though. How'd you like to roll
Whatever
with
do you
me?
mean?
I want you to be my wheelchaired partner in fighting crime.
Sequence killers? Oh my. But I think you already have a partner, sweetie.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree.
They're probably
It
right.
seems to me that you lucked out with your partner. He has the look of an upstanding officer of the law. Someone you can lean on, and sweetie, you are looking unsteady. Yes,
That is
dear. I'm a paraplegic.
A paraplegic is someone with limited or no ability to use the lower half
I really
of
like
their
the sound of
body.
this guy's voice.
Paraplegia is caused by spinal cord injuries, like falling from a great height.
This voice actor
or
even
a
competes with
grenade
me
explosion.
in the smooth sounding voice category.
That's quite all right. I'm used to people asking questions. I know they're thinking about it anyway.
Hey, what's up, Sam?
Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad. Oh my. You know where we are, right?
Are you winning?
That's right. And where is the Whirling in Rags cafeteria itself located? Yes,
Revachol?
indeed. We
She's
are in
figured
the
stuff
fine
out.
city of Revachol. Yes, great. See, we're getting somewhere.
I'm figuring stuff
What
out.
else do you know about our city of splendor? Tattered as she may be. The new disco dancing. It seems like a lifetime ago. Much has changed, but it is still the most beautiful city in the world.
A rare jewel set in the sand between the pines. Everyone says so, even foreigners. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes?
Do I?
That's right, dear. How splendid. Here, take this pen. Knowledge should
Nice.
always be rewarded.
Her relief is palpable. She was getting pretty worried about you there. But now
See, he knows. He knows where he is and around the time it is.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
I'd like to think it's a dictatorship of the proletariat. Something tells me it's not.
Oh, sweetie.
And she's like,
It's
oh,
really
boy.
not. There used to be people who thought that way. Other people who wanted those things, but they all went extinct. Revachol is a zone of control led by an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have almost no government of our own, and certainly no
Oh,
dictatorship of
no.
the proletariat.
Oh,
But
no.
they still have cops.
Oh dear. And you were doing so well. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution. But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break.
It's very kind.
Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
What is this
A
revolution?
defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was
Drain
42 years
damaged.
ago.
Oh boy, that's twisted.
Of course, sweetie, I really don't know how to explain it better. Someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
No, I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez.
That's a good point. This doesn't look like Rich Central.
Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your financial troubles. When do you get your next paycheck?
You must be joking. Although our pay does sometimes feel like a joke.
It's not easy to assert your right to a decent living wage when you don't have a strong union behind you. Maybe you should talk to Everard, the union leader.
I also, in my previous playthrough, I was basically just a hired muscle for Everard. Even though I could see he was, pretty corrupt, I was just like, I'm gonna go with the union. Regardless of, whether they make mistakes or not. Obviously, the dock workers are a rough and tumble bunch. Everard's pretty corrupt, but I'm just gonna, go with them.
Interesting idea. This Everard sounds powerful.
Okay. My red
Maybe
check is
you
not
can
gonna
wrangle
work,
some
though.
coins out of his pocket.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry I don't have money for you. If there's anything else I can do for you, just ask.
I'm a union
Of course,
man.
dear. Good luck with your case.
Who knows what I'm gonna do this time? I mean, I guess I could stick with the, security forces, but what's this?
A colorful piece of plastic is dangling from his carabiner. Makes on the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine. The man does not mind. You probably need them more than he does. It's a dock worker's ID, doubling as a shift card and a job permit. A young, able-bodied man stares back at you from the photo.
Steal the ID.
Santiago S. John. You
Oh,
fumble
no.
the spring-loaded gate of the carabiner, but to no avail.
That's
The
frustrating.
dangling items refuse to come loose.
72%
They just
failed that
jingle in an
check.
ever louder manner.
Would have liked to get that ID.
Like fucking sleigh bells. What are you doing? You're gonna get caught.
Stop finger fucking him, officer! I'm responsible for these oafs and their stuff. Even Sleepy there.
You're dealing with a criminal.
Sure. A criminal.
To be honest, he's correct. Police officers generally don't go around appropriating possessions from people. Let's go.
It was just an idea. Come on, relax everyone. It didn't turn out well. Doesn't mean it was a bad idea. Or that you shouldn't appropriate stuff.
I think I should still appropriate some stuff. I would have liked to have gotten that ID. That's a little frustrating. But I failed that check. But I'm not going to do... What's that like play style thing where you keep going back to your previous saves? Save scum, that's it, yeah. I'm not going to do a save scum playthrough. The street sign reads, fuck the police. Needs to go home. I'm going to wait to talk to her after Kim. I'm going to prove to Kim that I can do my job. We'll go fine, Kim. It's such a big problem for you that this body's been hanging hanging from a tree for the last week when I've done nothing about it? That's such a big deal for you? Fine, we'll go check out your precious corpse, Kim.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. Cop habit.
Yeah, I
you
love the
look
music.
at everything. This isn't case-related, you think. Hard to say. Your vision is blurred and you're having difficulty concentrating thanks to your relentless hangover. The tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. It's a message, written in the language of burnt rubber. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags. This is point A. The driver started there.
Someone needed to get through that fence in a
And
hurry.
then accelerated straight into the fence, left a hole big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry, according to the cafeteria manager. The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building.
Yeah, it is cool, the inner monologue. It's all different kind of parts of his brain kind of speaking to him. And again, I'm getting like so much more information about the case with this thinker playthrough. And I guess in the previous one, I was just a charming bullshitter.
Before heading south, must have been in a hurry.
You are correct. This is a rather motor carriage-friendly city. I'm not sure. There are plenty of traffic
See,
accidents
Kim was
waiting to
impressed
happen
that
in
I
Martinez.
figured out that a car did
With a
that.
jam right here on the roundabout. I would keep them separate.
Okay, Lodane, you weren't here when I was choosing my character. This thing, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if I was ready to do a physical instrument playthrough and just punch my way through everything. That's interesting that you say it was the best, though.
You could follow the track south. There seems to be a canal there. See where they went. If you...
One thing I can't do differently about this playthrough is try and impress Kim Kitsuragi at all costs. And try to want to get him to be my friend. There's Kuno. Kuno's just hucking rocks at the corpse. Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno's just sitting there hucking rocks at the corpse.
Kuno's got this!
If there ever was such a thing as an ugly kid, then this is it. He's almost exquisite in his ugliness, like a gremlin.
I was not a Kuno type, no, not at all.
Oh yeah, Nappa Gumpy Kuno!
it in the dick.
I think they recast Kuno, though. I'm going to miss the old Kuno voice.
The boy is sweating profusely. His eyes are like two black holes and his jaw is twitching as if trying to break free from the empire of his body.
Fuck that! Kuno, yeah, right in the mouthful!
Shits himself.
The rake, Kuno!
Kuno's going to get cancelled for
You
this
should
kind of
throw
language.
the rake at him, Kuno!
The fuck? Does Kuno know what a rake is? Kuno's not a gardener.
Kuno's old voice actor chose the new one. COVID-related stuff kept it from reprisal. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. That's cool that they allowed him to be part of that process, but I'm going to miss him, though.
We shouldn't do anything. You will see.
The language these kids are using, pure unfettered id. There will be no reasoning with those creatures.
The fuck are you talking about?
He's calling us Kuno! He says we're fucking each other!
I'm not saying
Alright,
that.
entertain the Kuno. Show me what you got. What you got there? What you got, huh? Show me what you got.
The kid moves his hands like a basketball player dribbling fast. Irregular speech patterns, overconfidence. Could this kid be on drugs? This warrants further investigation into this Kuno.
Shitload pig. What's your question?
Don't tell the pig shit, Kuno!
This is where you quickly ask him questions. Real cop questions, like a cop.
Kuno's
You know who he
fucking.
was?
Kuno uses the fucking for target practice.
Jeez, Kuno.
He's trying to hide the fact that he doesn't know.
Kuno knows all kinds of shit. Kuno's not a snitch. That's all. Trying to make the Kuno sing into the popo phone. Probably climbed. Kuno was busy down the road when that shit went down. You heard Kuno. Kuno wasn't even in Martinez. Kuno wasn't in Revachol. Kuno wasn't regional. I don't know. Some fucking Mesk or I don't know. Some other place. Night City. Kuno was in fucking Night City.
There is no Night City anywhere. That sounds like the name of a city in some pulp science fiction novel.
Why you gotta be riding Kuno's ass? You haven't been where Kuno's been. You haven't been in Kuno's head. You wanna know where Kuno was? You wanna know what Kuno's been fucking up to?
Oh, don't tell him that, Kuno! It's lame!
It's not fucking lame. Kuno's building Kuno's City. Night City. Rage City. The City of Rage. That's it. And it's not lame.
Lame!
So apparently, I don't want to spoil too much about this, but there's an incident later in the game that can kind of go in a number of different directions. That takes place kind of before the whole ending segment of the game. The whole last like 90 minutes. And in my playthrough, Kim continued being my partner through that whole time, but certain events can happen where Kuno basically becomes your de facto partner for the last like 90 minutes of the game. And he helps you figure out the end of the investigation when Kim gets something happens to him and he's not able to continue the investigation. So Kuno becomes your partner. But in my playthrough that didn't happen, but apparently that's something that can happen. I was very happy actually that I made it through with Kim Kitsuragi the whole time. Yeah, save scum that part. I kind of wanted to do it now with the previous voice actor. Or this one, though. That's also cool. But also I was very happy that I protected Kim, because Kim is my friend.
That's the name of Kuno City, bitch. Get the fuck off Kuno's back. This shit ain't about that.
It's impossible to deduce what it is about, at least for the moment. If it's important, it'll come up later. Focus on the case.
Just a couple of pigs sniffing around in the dirt. That seems pretty fucking suspicious to Kuno.
Yeah, you tell the faggoty, Kuno!
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost,
Because they're very rude. Kim is fantastic, but having Kuno as a partner for a bit would be incredible. Yeah, I'm interested to see that, even though it would be devastating if anything were to happen to Kim Kitsuragi.
The fuck about it? You're testing.
Get lost,
Right, pig. This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. Fuck do you want with it? Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno's Kuno, pig?
It's always Kuno, never I. Clearly the kid's using the third-person perspective as a shield.
Kuno doesn't do that smart shit. Don't throw that bullshit at Kuno. Kuno knows you're lying. Trying to get Kuno hooked on the book.
Watch out, Kuno! He's trying to fiddle you! He's gonna put his hands on you! Help! Pig's got Kuno! Help! Rape!
Help! He's got the Kuno, help!
Everyone can hear. You need to get the hell out of here before.
Help! He's digging his dick out!
Escalate, Kuno! His dick is out! You're afraid!
Pigs in here, Kuno! Somebody, please!
Kuno.
How did we get here? How did this happen? This makes no sense. There may still be a way out. Just appeal to his reason.
I can't. I'm not going to fail this red check and try and assault Kuno and mess it up. Who put you up to this?
No one. Kuno's doing this because he likes it, pig.
Help! The pig's gagging him! Kuno can't speak!
What is this sick charade?
No! Get off, Kuno, you sick fat fuck!
The nearly psychopathic way they could slip in and out of the act implies you're not the first victim.
Help! Misters, help! He's flashing Kuno. He's showing his genitals. If you don't help Kuno now,
Okay.
it'll be too late. Look.
Okay, Kuno.
For emphasis, a ghost is saying this. A shit-eating psychopathic ghost with an ace up his sleeve.
I know you wanted to hit me. You got that I'm gonna fuck that Kuno up look that Kuno's dad gets. The murder look. The rage look.
Relax. He can't read your mind. He doesn't know you were thinking that. There's a dead body, remember? That's what you were doing here. You're a cop on a case.
Can you read my mind, Kuno?
I know what you thought. I'm gonna fuck that Kuno up. I'm gonna shut that shit down. You know what? You should've, because now you're nothing. You're a joke to Kuno. Kuno laughs at you.
This is not going
King
well.
Kuno!
Kuno turned you into his prison, bitch! You're gonna be in this shit with Kuno!
Jeez. These
No,
kids are being very
you're
cruel
not.
to me.
We can just leave.
Bitch, you're gonna be in this shit with Kuno forever!
A peepo is a type of hat, by the way.
You don't talk to me about my fucking peeper! You don't know where I come from! You're just Kuno's bottom bitch!
Okay, leave me alone, kids. Being very mean and hurtful to me. Just trying to solve a crime here. This is what I get for trying to help the citizens of Revachol. I get mocked and derided from the local children.
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work.
I will. I want to
Anywhere
impress
from
Kim,
6
so I'm
to
going to
12
look at
pairs
the
have
actual
walked
crime
here.
scene first. Bunch of work boot tracks.
Maybe more than 12. No. 8 pairs of boots have shuffled back and forth in the mud. 1. Standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 46.
I'd say I never did any of this shit
2.
in the first playthrough.
Standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 44. 3. Hobnailed work boot. 4. Standard work boot, number 45 or 46. You don't know. It's a miracle you can tell the prints apart as it is. The cold must have preserved them. 5. Another standard work boot. 6. An aberration, light as air, even pace. Same make of boot, but number 41. Impossible to tell. Could also have been an adolescent. The gait is undeveloped. 7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot, number 46. But the imprints are twice as deep as the others. The weight exceeds 200 kilograms. 8. And yet another standard work boot, number 44. There's an aberration in the pattern of the sole, however. The right sole is smoother, more worn.
How many? I was pretty off then. I counted 20.
Same guys are going back
I
and
never
forth.
got the hang of it. Hyperopia. Do you see anything out of the ordinary? A woman or a kid? Understood. Anything else? 200? Could it be the combined weight of two people, one carrying the other who's tied up? Let's say a heavily built worker carrying a similarly built, soon-to-be-dead man.
He might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is unlikely.
Possibly, yes.
But why?
Why did they have to carry him?
They could have used a makeshift stretcher or just march him up to the gallows. Even easier to carry
He
on a
wasn't
stretcher
conscious.
or between two men. Anyway, it's for future consideration. What else can... Interesting. Let's name it the odd soul.
Do you have a limp?
Someone operating a workbench with a pedal? Like a joiner at the harbor. Or maybe a drummer? No, it's not. Forget I said it. We are not looking for a drummer. Perhaps
He's a
it could
drummer.
be a driver. A driver would wear out the right shoe before the left. The accelerator is on the right.
He doesn't seem to hear you. Looking south toward the traffic jam
All
instead.
kinds of info
The
here.
machines are silent. The engines are all turned off.
We should keep our eyes open around the traffic jam. See whether anyone strikes out as a potential suspect. Seems prudent, no? A week, maybe? 7 days would fit the time frame provided to us by the caller, who reported the hanging.
It is not impossible.
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Revachol. 7 days below freezing. The day before, the day of his hanging, was the last warm day.
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would preserve the tracks in a good state. The commotion here could have taken place a week ago.
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy to the tree. One of them was carrying the victim. They shuffled around, especially under the tree.
I'm trying to remember what happened in my first playthrough when I looked at those tracks. I think I just immediately failed my check to look at them, and he was just like, I don't know, it looks like a bunch of just fucked up shit in the mud. And like that was the extent of it.
Then, after hoisting him up, they stood in a semicircle facing his direction. At first glance, this appears to be a lynching.
At first glance,
Indeed.
yes it does.
They all stood in a row here and looked
At
at
first
the tree.
glance.
Yes, everything fits so well. Carried him over, hoisted him up, watched him hang. This is easy. The lieutenant's eyes narrow. He's thinking to himself.
Either way. What else?
The corpse looks at you with bulging white eyes. The face around them does not look human. It's swollen and ready to burst. His lips are fish-like and his tongue like a ball gag in his mouth. You seem to be holding your breath. A cargo belt twists his neck at an unnatural angle. The body
Take
below
care,
appears stiff.
uninitialized.
It's letting out an ungodly rot. The smell seeps in even through your clenched nostrils.
Active decay. It's okay to throw up, officer. No one is judging.
He's about to blow! Cop's gonna blow, Kuno!
This is not going to go well.
The smell is repulsive. It pushes in from your mouth, more instant and more familiar than anything you'd expected, more fever than odor. It fills your mind, flushing you from within.
It's alright. Let it out. No problem.
You feel a great force ringing from your stomach. Your body curls and pushes it out, burst by burst, until a pool of vomit lies under your feet and your throat stings from the stomach acid. The smell of Commodore Red rises from the pool. Among it, distilled spirit and bits of shish kebab.
It's okay. Happens to everyone. Keep it. The hangover is clearly making this worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear your head. There is Frit nearby, east of the hostel. They usually have a small apothecary.
So I've got to go get some medicine so I can do this without puking.
There's a greenhouse here, and a gardener with a wheelbarrow on the corner of the whirling in rags. If she works here, she might have something for the smell.
Pretty clever.
Gardener with a wheelbarrow. Okay.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, "Whirling in rags." Just a trash container. There is no such thing. Your fingers start to itch just looking at that padlock.
We could try using a pry bar. There's one in my motor carriage, or we could ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He
I
probably
think
has
Bart
one.
has one.
He might also have information. This is better than the pry bar idea.
Let's see if I can go in Kuno's shack here. Can you get back there? No.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite. It's nothing. Someone just left some roofing material slanted against an old shack. Glad you asked. When junior researcher Olari Tal invented Eternite in the Vartna Polytechnic Institute some 30-odd years ago, he thought it would last forever. Hence the name, Eternite. Sadly, the only lasting thing turned out to be the material's highly carcinogenic effect. Because there's a secret door hidden behind the panels of Eternite. That's why they're too orderly. There it is. You see a shabby little door.
Not so smart now, are you, Kuno? Being mean to me?
What is this then? A tool shed? Let's investigate.
You're gonna make fun of me, Kuno? I'm gonna go investigate your little shack.
Be still, my beating heart. It's amphetamine. Sweet amphetamine.
Could go for some of that right now.
The lieutenant isn't studying the powder in the mirror. He's studying you. There's a good vague way to ask where he stands on drug use. Professionally, I mean.
I've heard amphetamines make you a really good detective.
No, I'm just a regular detective, thank you very much. Perhaps not. This is below our pay grade.
Coffee Walk, it's Disco Elysium.
However, see that ladder there? It's probably another way into the industrial harbor, no? A secret path the local kids use.
Ba ba ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Yeah. It would have been a very alpha move, initial observer, to just like snort a big line of amphetamine. It would have asserted dominance with Kim there.
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here. When the wind ruffles the cloak, you can most definitely see a white rectangle on its back.
It's a cop's cloak.
Yes, it's probably yours. It bears the RCM insignia, and you have a habit of being careless with your equipment. You could probably make the jump. You look like you've done some track and field in your day.
The wind is aggressive up here. The lieutenant looks at the enormous crane towering in the distance over the container yard. That machine is a Kvalsund 1020 HK.
Is it? Kvalsund makes a lot of heavy equipment. But
So this is cool. So I guess with physical instrument, you can access this whole area right away, and usually just to get back here, it's this whole ongoing process where you've got to learn about race science in order to impress this big, strong dock worker who lets you back there.
But I digress. We were focusing on your cloak here. What are we doing? We're awfully close to breaking into the industrial harbor. They are bound to have information for us. I thought that was our intention. Or it could be that we are just exploring. The cloak? I do think it's yours, yes. As to whether you should go for it? Well, it doesn't seem too dangerous. 2 meter stops. Whenever you're ready to do it, I'll be right behind you.
The cloak looks like a bag of goodies floating in the wind. Who knows what its pockets may hide?
Oh my goodness, I passed the check.
As you leap in the air, a chilly breeze engulfs you, sharpening your senses. As the concrete floor welcomes you, you realize it's been a while since you felt so alive, alert, capable. Must be the adrenaline.
I knew you could do it. My climbing down might not have been as disco as your jump, but at least we can explore the harbor now.
With your feet firmly planted on the concrete, the noise of the harbor rushes back in.
My cloak? So this is cool. I had no idea you could explore this like so early. And there's no real way to climb back up there either. So now I'm like in the harbor. I've got to go talk to the union guy. I already forgot his name. Fuck. I can't believe I made that jump. Very graceful.
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René Arnaud. Listen, it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself. Sit down and have a breather.
If you must. But please hurry. We are pretty easy to spot up here.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's a framed photograph on the table. It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man is young, dark-skinned, and dressed in a Royal Carabinieri uniform. The girl is smiling playfully at the camera.
Why did you take that? Fine, but let's move. I don't want to be seen snooping around here.
The chair is not as austere as the rest of the booth. A thin grey pillow is attached to the seat, secured to the stiles by black ribbons. Stale air floods through your nostrils. Not a single mote of dust floats inside your lungs.
Chill out a little bit in the chair.
The inside of the booth is immaculate. The drawers are empty, save for old timesheets and receipts. One small box, however, does hold some cheap painkillers. They are slightly out of date.
Yeah, I know, Sailing Sinbad. I'm gonna call it a night soon. I put a dent into the beginning of this, though.
You take the painkillers. They are yours now.
Nice.
You stand and exit the booth.
It's Disco Elysium. And the guy with the voice is your, like, inner monologue. I'll go talk to the union guy and then I'll probably call it after that. The art is really cool. It really, like, it's one of the things I like about it is it reminds me, not necessarily in the art, but kind of point and click stuff. It reminds me a lot of the first video games I started playing, like in the 90s, like Sierra games and stuff.
A rusting control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marche and Arrête are faded with use. It seems to control the large crane above. A container is attached to its hook block. Allumer on, éteindre off. With a loud grind,
Sure.
the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air.
I was never able to get into this container the last time I did this. It was very mysterious what was in there, but I was never able to find it.
And, with a surprisingly quiet thunk, the crane places the container down. The harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. The crane can rest again, now that its purpose has been fulfilled. The rusty control panel grows warm to the touch, then grows cold. A faint smell of burning rubber reaches your nostrils. A short circuit.
I can't see how that was worth the ruckus, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
Does your kid trust Caillou more than he does trust Christo? He's not really a Caillou guy. He doesn't watch it a lot. Which is good because I've heard Caillou's very annoying. A lot of adults that have to watch Caillou a lot, they find him very obnoxious. Let's see if I can come any closer to getting into this crate.
Before you stands a cargo container. Just
really
one of many in the yard.
You do? Because I don't.
Because there's something special about it, and I agree.
There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one?
Just feels special.
It's a cargo container, detective, just like all the others. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to talk to the Union, right?
No reply. The knock produces a hollow ring of metal. Doesn't sound like there's anything inside the container. You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors seem to be mechanically locked. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement. You attempt to turn to your left. The lieutenant considers...
Okay. Alright, container. Keep your secrets. Alright, keep your secrets. Yeah, I love this setting though of all the different cargo containers. They've almost turned into like a city. Some more money. 6 real, not too shabby. Talk to this guy after. I'll go talk to the union guy. Again, he's very slimy, this dude, but I also, in my first playthrough, I just basically was like his guy. He's really funny too. He's like all super like charming. He's a kind of a politician. He like treats you like he's your best friend. Everard, I think his name is, yeah.
Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you, with a mixture of expectation and impatience, well bottled.
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat. I'm Everard Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up. You understand?
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, looks like a torture device.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat. I insist.
Am I still doing TikTok? Honestly, I should. I should probably do a couple each week. Whenever I do TikToks, they almost always like blow up online, but I just don't really like. I never think of it. I never sit around and think about it. I only really do one if like an idea just kind of comes to me.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right.
So I haven't done one for a couple weeks.
Forget about it. Filter it out.
The last one I did though went quite viral, which was kind of crazy. On Twitter, not on TikTok. No one actually cares on TikTok about what I'm doing. It's just basically a tool to create videos using music and other stuff. It's nothing. I probably forget about it, filter it out. Don't sit. Guy's telling me not to sit. Yeah, I don't sit.
Very well, Mr. Dubois. I respect a man with strong convictions. I, too, have convictions. One of which is that I will not engage with any man who won't face me at eye level. Should you find yourself more amenable in the future, I'd gladly resume our conversation. But until then, I'm afraid I must ask you to leave.
You're no Titan affiliation, buddy. He's got you in a fork. Sit down or leave.
Okay,
excellent,
fine.
Mr.
I'll
Dubois.
sit.
I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another.
Try to wink back.
So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your backside.
Plus, I don't need another source of overstimulation. Honestly, TikTok can be very addictive, too. If you're ever just like, yeah, I really need to work on something right now. I have like a deadline coming up. I gotta work on a project. I have somewhere I need to be. I gotta get ready. I'm just gonna look at TikTok for like 30 seconds. And then it just really incentivizes the scrolling, and then you're just like, and then like 90 minutes have passed, and you're like, why am I looking at all these cooking videos? I've been looking at cooking videos for the last like hour. And that's what happens.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say.
So he's already got people
This
talking
should
to
take
him.
care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead.
Give me a giant novelty check.
Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it.
Now I do need the money. It'd be nice to give me more money though.
Is there anything you'd like to say to me? Or, don't mention it, but also don't forget it. I'm just kidding, of course.
He's not.
Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter.
What's your favorite
your lost
food?
gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak.
This guy already knows
I've
a lot
got
about
my
what's
best
going on.
hounds looking for that lost gun.
You know what? I don't know. I like a lot of different foods. I don't have one favorite food, Sailing Sinbad, but I have been obsessed with Korean fried chicken lately. I've been usually ordering Korean fried chicken every single Friday, and today was no different. I got Korean fried chicken and it was excellent.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun.
With like
Lost
a dipping
gun.
sauce.
Lost gun.
It's like fried boneless chicken with like this garlic soy dipping sauce. Oh shit.
The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only two words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun. Oh God. Why didn't you think
Yeah.
of this before?
Probably should have
Cops
mentioned this.
have guns. Where's yours?
Uh-oh.
It's gone. Your gun is gone. There's nothing in your pockets.
Are you all right, Harry? You seem anxious. Don't be. Everything's going to be all right. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep at least 2 barrels loaded.
Officer, we will deal with this later.
Oh boy.
We don't need Mr. Clare's help with this.
Kim's disappointed with me.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Who does this guy
Oh,
think
I
you
didn't
are?
panic.
Ronnie the rookie?
I just passed a
You ain't
8%
worried
check.
about no lost gun, or unpaid bill, or forgotten name. You're the bad cop. You're probably more corrupt than him.
I can't believe I passed that. Sink deep into the
fat
folding
man
chair.
does the same, sinking deeper into his chair than one would think is physically possible. He seems to be enjoying your little display.
I'm gonna go make a peanut butter chip and pickle sandwich soon. That sounds pretty good, actually. Peanut butter and pickle is one of those things that just sounds revolting until you have it once, and then it's like, oh, this makes sense to me. It didn't make sense before, but then once you taste it, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. That actually works.
Good. Now lean in with some corruption.
That we do, Harry. Let them say what they will about you and me. We're both born fighters.
Nice bit with the chair, by the way.
Why? Thank you. It's always nice when a fellow professional appreciates your work.
That's it. Now kick back and add a final flourish for dignity.
This is a worm's lair, and we both know why I'm here to help grow your horde.
You strike me as a reasonable man, Harry. I like that in a law man.
The
Let's
PB and
cut to the
onion,
chase,
yeah.
shall we? What can Everard Clare do for you?
I had one time a peanut butter and pickle sandwich with a nice little thing to include in that is little sriracha, a little like hot sauce.
I think we'd like to ask you a few questions. Don't you think so, Detective?
Yeah, Kim's not happy about this lost gun
Somehow you
business.
managed to get yourself out of this one. Now quick, keep the momentum up. Ask questions. Whatever you do, don't ask him about the gun first. You don't want him thinking you're scared.
Harry, honestly, I'm just relieved you didn't get a hernia. A man your age... You did look like you were gonna collapse and die when I told you about your lost gun.
Your pickles are already jalapeno spiced. Damn. PB and sriracha is how I started on the whole savory PB sandwich thing. Very interesting.
Anyway, I assure
We gotta
you,
all hang out
I am
together,
a very
the three of us.
well-informed man.
We're
Information
gonna hang out
reaches me
together and have
before I
peanut butter
even
and
get
pickle
the chance to
sandwiches
request
together.
it.
IRL. In the meat space. Let's make it happen. We can do the thing where you like wrap your arms around and you're like munching on the sandwiches, like that thing like you do with drinks usually, but with peanut butter sandwiches. I want to talk about the hanging.
Of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to discuss it with you. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me.
But
there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines. Incredibly talented at opening doors.
yeah. Is that true, Kim?
I'm not sure I understand. If you're asking us to break down someone's door, it's not going to happen.
Come now. I just need you to go open a little door for me and leave it unlocked. A simple thing. Absolutely nothing shady about it.
Seems reasonable.
An excellent opportunity presents itself, sire. You could win the trust of the arch-liar, pretend to play into his hand. Then, should you wish, bend his efforts towards your own.
Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about. Fantastic, my friend.
All right, I'll open your
Just
door.
let me know when it's done and we can take our friendship to the next level. You can get the key from Manana. He's down by the gates. Manana's like a free agent in the Union. Special operations. Hardened socialist. A real free thinker, too. He'll tell you precisely where the door is. One last thing, Harry. Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door.
It's in that container.
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbor. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them. Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource, and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
Yes, your lost gun.
Oh, by the way,
My
about
best
that
men
gun.
are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas, everyone. Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that. It's just a matter of time and effort.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
Harry!
I'm gonna be
I was only
blackmailed by
trying to
you,
be
Claire.
tactful. A lost gun is a dangerous thing. I can't have it around in my neighborhood. Kids could be playing gun roulette with it as we speak. Teenage gangs could be arming themselves. Get a hold of yourself, Harry.
I assure you we are working on locating the missing sidearm as well.
Kim's not happy
Excellent,
about this.
Mr. Kitsuragi. That's excellent news. Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everett, I call you Harry. My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? What are the odds of that?
I think the odds of that are very low.
It might be a good idea to hide your confusion. I mean, see what his game is first.
This is just a test.
So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently my sources were wrong. However, if you did have a spot of memory trouble, I could help you out. With my big fat folder.
Words flow like a river of honey from his lips. I guess word has already reached him. No matter. No harm done. It's just a brown folder. You can't make out what's written on it.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now.
Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first.
It's Harry. Harry Dubois. And I can work with you, Harry. Now, what else can I do for you? But of course, Harry. Your precinct is the 41st and you live in Jamrock. You're a Jamrock boy. A long way from home, but that's okay.
He doesn't really seem to know any more about it.
Family? Harry, you're not a family man. There's not one peep of family
Not
in here.
anymore.
Unless you think you're a family man. Do you strike yourself as a family man, Harry?
You'd be a wonderful father.
Yes. I'm sure you're going to make one little boy or a girl very happy and proud one day, Harry. Well, Harry, if I were to sum you up in one word, it would be apologetic. Yes. You seem to be, a lot of the time, but right now there's no reason to be. Let loose a little. Be you.
Yeah, I'm Harry.
He's probably just making a guess based on your recent activity in Martinez.
Ah, this? My friends in your organization gave it to me, Harry.
This translates into, haha, you guys are so corrupt.
I find that very suspicious. May I have a look?
I'm afraid this is meant for Union eyes only, Mr. Kitsuragi. I'm sure you understand. Please continue, Harry.
Everett's large hands
man.
are covering the folder.
I failed
but
the
the look on his
83% check
face
there.
says, I know everything about you, Harry.
Oh, Harry. Oh, wow. This is really
I
something.
passed an 8% check and I failed an 83% check. It's a wacky game already.
I'm sure it's not that bad. At worst, he has an old RCM folder, and I very much doubt even that.
So how about it, Harry? You need assist. Of course, Harry, of course. Let's not linger on personal details and amnesia. You wanted something from me. Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate. Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white Union man.
There we go.
Take...
Yeah, so in my first playthrough, it really took me a while just to get to this point. It's cool that I just skipped that whole process. Like I said, you have to learn about race science to impress the dock worker to get into this area. It's a whole process. Alright, well, it's getting pretty late, folks. The night stream is going to have to come to an end. Yeah, I don't have to deal with Measurehead. Thanks for coming to hang out, folks. This was fun, right? What do we think of Disco Elysium as a streaming game? I don't think I'm going to be able to play the whole game like that. I don't do gaming streams enough to like be able to play the whole game by streaming. It was pretty cool. I do like the whole full voiced version. I like it. That's why I couldn't do it before, because it's just like it's so much just reading that it just wouldn't be that entertaining. But when you have the narration is really good too. Hey, Calais checks. You just found the secret stream, but just as I'm leaving. Yeah, probably if I'm gonna game stream more though, I'll probably play Borderlands as well because that's a little bit more like action packed. But we'll see. I'll try and return to this. I don't think I can stream it every time, but I'll try and return to it. Thanks for coming to hang out, gang. It was fun. Okay. Triple O, double N. I'm not sure what Bakun is up to. Doing some kind of he does kind of interesting like watch parties. I don't know what's going on with that. Thanks for hanging out though, folks. It was fun. So it was a little surprise. A little like, surprise stream. That's cool, right? I'll be back on Monday. I'll talk to you on Monday, okay? Goodbye.